What's going on? It's Austin from Cultivated Culture here. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to find the perfect set of LinkedIn skills to help you show up in more searches, to help you get more profile views, and to help you get more of those opportunities that you're looking for. So what's the deal with LinkedIn skills? Why is it so important? On the surface, most people know that skills are just a good way to show what they've done, right? If you're good at Microsoft Excel and it's in your skills list, then people can see that, right? But there's actually another layer that's deeper under the surface, which is even more powerful and even more important. And that is how LinkedIn factors skills into its algorithm. So most people don't realize that a huge part of LinkedIn is its search capability. LinkedIn is a search engine just like Google, just like YouTube, just like Amazon, just like any of these other sites that we use all the time. We show up to those sites, we type in a query, and we get results, and we hope that those results are relevant, right? Well, it's the same thing with LinkedIn. We have recruiters who are running searches to find job seekers, find candidates to fill those roles. We have job seekers running searches to find people to network with or people at their target companies. We have salespeople running searches to find potential prospects. We have people running searches to find vendors. So if I'm a client and I'm looking for a career coach, I can run a search and find a career coach. There's so many reasons why these searches are being run. But most people don't realize is that there is some magic that goes into serving up the results. So who shows up first on that list? Who shows up 10th? Who shows up dead last? That all has to do with LinkedIn's algorithm. And essentially, an oversimplified explanation of what the algorithm does is that it basically scans your profile and then it looks at the search query and it tries to match up the profiles that are most relevant to the search query. So what we need to understand is how the algorithm works and how we can use that to our advantage. And the LinkedIn skills section is one of the best ways that we can do that. So LinkedIn's algorithm uses the skills section to stack rank candidates, especially when we're thinking about job seekers and recruiters and using LinkedIn for the job search. So if I'm a recruiter and I'm looking for, let's say, a social media manager, I'm going to be able to type in some skills that I desire, right? And I'm going to be able to use some queries. So maybe I want somebody who's really focused on Instagram, who has a lot of experience with Instagram. Well, I can include that in my search. And then what's going to happen? Well, a lot of these profiles are going to be served up. And again, this is an oversimplified explanation, but let's say that there are 3 candidates in the pool of potential searches or results. One has Instagram in their skills section and they have 10 endorsements for Instagram. The second has Instagram in their skills section and they have 5 endorsements. And the third has Instagram in their skills section and 0 endorsements. Well, the way the search algorithm is going to look at that is one, only 2 people are going to show up in the results because you can have a skill on your profile, but if it does not have any endorsements, it's not going to factor into the search algorithm. So you need at least 1 endorsement for it to factor into that algorithm. So that third person there isn't even going to show up in the search. And then between the first and the second person, the first person who has 10 endorsements is going to show up higher than the person who has 5 endorsements, all else being equal on their profile. Now, that's not necessarily a realistic situation, but the point I'm trying to make is that the more endorsements you have for relevant skills, the higher your profile is going to show up in these relevant searches, and also the more searches you are going to show up in. And all of those things translate to more views for your profile and more opportunities coming your way. So how do you find the right skills? Well, that's exactly what we're going to focus on in this video. Next, I'm going to give you a 10-minute exercise that's going to show you all of the skills that you need to find. And I'm actually going to give you 2 different tools that you can use so you have some options and both are free. So first and foremost, I want you to head to LinkedIn here. And what I want you to do is head over to the jobs page. And I want you to run a search for a job as if you were going to apply for it. So for example, we might want to look for a social media marketing role. Let's say that that's the job that we're targeting. Well, if I run this search, I'm going to get every social media marketing job available, right? And it looks like there are 39,000 of them. So that's quite a bit. So what you can also do here is you can use the filters up top. So if you want to filter by specific companies, if you want to filter by experience level, if you even want to filter by things like locations or any of the other filters that we have here, you can absolutely do that. My goal is for you to add the filters and run the search as if you were going to apply for these roles. Next, what you're going to do is you are going to scan through each of the roles here. You're going to click through them, and I want you to read the job descriptions. And then what I want you to do is think and ask yourself, is this a job that fits my target criteria? Is this a dream job? Is this a job I'm excited about? Is this a job I would be pumped to apply for? And when it is, what I want you to do is look at the job description, and then I want you to copy it, and I want you to paste it into a new document. So I'm just going to grab this Google role. and I'm going to copy the criteria here. And then I have this job description for LinkedIn Skills sheet already open. So I'm just going to add it in here. Now, the reason I like to have this sheet is because it enables me to step away from this and come back to it later, right? So my goal is for you to have a minimum of 20 different job descriptions in this sheet, but that could be a lot to do in one sitting. So maybe if you parse it out over a couple of days, you do 5 per day and you knock it out in just about a week, you can save all that information in this document so you can reference it anytime. So I always like to keep this document open. And as you can see here, we have a whole bunch of job descriptions that I've pre-populated into the document. So you're basically going to rinse and repeat that exact process. You are going to scroll through all the jobs. You are going to look for jobs that, again, resonate with you, that fit your target criteria, and then you're going to add them into the sheet. Now, the other thing I would recommend that you do is run this process through for every job title that you're potentially considering. So if your goal is to get a job in marketing and social media is just one aspect that you're interested, go ahead and run a job for things like marketing manager or even content marketing or some of these other titles that are still in a similar space, but allow you to create some diversity. And the reason we do that is because what we're hoping to do with our profile is add the skills that are most relevant for all of the jobs that we're targeting. Unlike a resume where we can tailor the resume for every single specific role that we apply for, LinkedIn is more of a general catch-all. So what we have to do is find the skills, find the keywords, find the information that is common across all of the roles we're targeting so we can attract the widest audience. That's what's going to give us the best results here. So you're going to rinse and repeat this process until, again, you have a minimum of 20 job descriptions in that document. That said, the more the merrier. If you want to do 30 or 40 or 50 or even more, that's just going to make your results more accurate. So the more that you put into this, the more information that we input into this process, the more accurate your results, but obviously the more time you have to spend. So you can find the balance that works for you there. Now we have our job description sheet here, and we have 20 job descriptions. In my case, a little less, just for the sake of this test here. So what we're going to do next is we are going to look at 2 different tools here that are going to allow you to tease out the important skills. So first and foremost, I'm just going to grab all of the content here, and I'm going to copy it just so I have it all in one bulk copy on my clipboard. So now it's saved to my clipboard and it's ready to go. Next, I'm going to go to a site called resumatch.io, and I'm going to look for the job description scanner tab. So you can see that right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paste all of my information in here. So let me just start from scratch. And now all the job descriptions I found are in this box. Next, I'm going to click the scan for free. And what ResuMatch is going to do is it's going to come up with all of the skills. It's basically going to scan all of the job descriptions. It's going to look for skills, hard skills and soft skills that are in its database, and it's going to match those. And then it's going to order them by frequency. So here we have the word cloud, but the word cloud isn't as empirical as I'd like it to be. So what you want to do is scroll down a little more, and you can see the all skills match here, where we have all of the skills, both hard skills and soft skills, that we need in order to be relevant for these job descriptions, right? These are the skills that show up most frequently on these job descriptions. So no surprise, social media shows up 50 times. Marketing shows up 39, right? So again, these are the important skills that we want to make sure that we absolutely have on our profile. So if you scroll down a little bit, you can see, we have the full list here, and then we can actually break them out by hard skills and soft skills. And it's just going to show you the top 5 here. You can break out some more keywords by clicking show me more keywords. But again, if you start with the all skills match and you add all of these skills to your LinkedIn profile, that is going to put you in an awesome position. And then all you need to do is start getting endorsements for those skills. But ResuMatch is just one tool, and I like to give you options. So the other tool I recommend using is a tool called wordclouds.com. Now, the main reason you'd want to do this is if you have a very niche job, let's say, or if you have a very niche focus, and some of those keywords aren't showing up in ResuMatch, or let's say that ResuMatch has them ordered differently than what you feel is important, you can use word clouds as another option to tease out this information. But there is a little bit of extra work involved. So if you go to wordclouds.com, what you would do is click this word list button. Next, you would click on this paste type text dialog, and then you would paste in all of those job descriptions again, and then you would hit apply. And word clouds is just going to look at all of the words that are present in these job descriptions, and it's just going to order them in frequency order from highest frequency to lowest. So again, we want to be more empirical. So I'll click on this word list button. And what you'll see here is the exact same setup where we have all of the words and the amount of times that they show up in these job descriptions. But you'll notice 2 things here. So first, words are broken out individually, right? So instead of social media being one phrase that we leverage in the way that ResuMatch showed us, social and media are broken out into their own words here. So you do have to do a little bit of extra work piecing those together. Then additionally, you're going to find that there are filler words. So for example, across is not necessarily a skill, right? It's just a filler word that people are using for their job descriptions. So we want to make sure that we remove those as well. And once you do some of that housekeeping, you'll end up with that list of the top 15 skills that you should be adding to your profile. So whether you use ResuMatch or whether you use wordclouds.com, both are great options. They are going to get you to those top 15 or so skills that you're going to want to add. Next, you're going to want to add them, right? So what we're going to do is go back to your LinkedIn profile here. We'll just use mine as an example. But when you're on your LinkedIn profile, what you're going to want to do is scroll down to the skills and endorsements section, which is right here. Now, what you're going to click on is add a new skill, and then you are going to take the skills that you found with ResuMatch and WordClouds, and you are going to type them in here. So for example, social media is one of the skills, right? And I already have it on my profile. It's actually one of the top endorsed skills. But what I would do is I would add this to my profile by clicking the add button. And you can actually add multiple skills here. It doesn't just have to be one at a time. You can add all 15. You can max out your skill section or the amount of skills that you have in your section here all in one shot if you feel comfortable doing that, or you can do it piecemeal. So once you hit add, the skill will officially be on your profile, and then you can see a list of all the skills that are on your profile. Now, the key thing here is to understand really two things. So first and foremost, endorsements will lead to better results. So the more endorsements you get, the more searches you'll show up in, the higher you'll show up in those searches. And then again, you need at least one endorsement to be factored into the search engine algorithm. So for these skills down the bottom here, I don't know, I guess there aren't any skills that I don't have endorsements for. So I would be in the search results for all of these skills, but clearly, marketing, social media, and digital marketing, I have more than 100 endorsements for. I'm going to show up much higher in those searches than for something like speaker, where I have 12 endorsements, or LinkedIn training, where I have 14 endorsements, because LinkedIn is, again, viewing this as a way to stack rank things. So because my peers, 99 plus of my peers have said Austin is good at social media, that is going to carry more weight than just 12 people saying Austin is a good speaker. So we want to keep that in mind. And your goal should be to get as many endorsements as you can for the most relevant skills, right? So when we look back at ResuMatch or when we look back at WordClouds, the skills that appear at the top are the ones that you're really going to want to target and you're going to want to drive endorsements to. And then the last thing to note is that, as you can see here, before I hit see more, only the top 3 highly endorsed skills are going to show up on your profile. So people actually have to hit see more to see the rest of the skills. So what you're going to want to do is focus specifically on curating those top 3 skills to match with the top 3 skills that you found through this exercise. Now, if you do that and you go through this exercise, you find your 20 plus job descriptions, you tease out the top 15 skills, you add them to your profile, and you get endorsements for them, you are going to see a boost in the amount of searches that you show up in. And you can see that and you can track it actually in the Your Dashboard section here with these search appearances. That's going to increase as you get more skills and as you get endorsements for those skills. On top of that, you're going to get more profile views. More searches means more people clicking on your profile. That means more profile views. And finally, you're going to get more opportunities. People are going to see your profile. They're going to like what they see, and they're going to reach out to you with opportunities. And that is the beauty of this tactic. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you feel like you have a good handle on how to get those LinkedIn skills. The rest of the article is going to teach you how to take this to the next level, how to maximize everything here. So be sure to read on, and I will see you in the next video.